And I ended the last talk with the point of narcissism, the me syndrome, the me first syndrome. Because one of the real prices of living in a consumer society is it's not a society, it's a grouping of individuals all out, trained, taught, propagandized to get their piece, to get all they can in this sort of horrible survival race where everyone else is not necessarily your friend, but they're not necessarily your enemy, but they're not necessarily your friend. And bear in mind, there are Americans I've met, at least a dozen, who don't fit into all this. What I'm talking about is the core culture, the core white predominant controlling power culture as it presents and as it is generated about the price you pay in that and with that and from that. And I'll get to some of the things you can do to break out of it. One of the key things is to look at the issue of narcissism, and I think the narcissism in America is beyond anything I've ever encountered in the world. It basically says me first, me second, me third, me fourth, and it doesn't stop saying me. It's about I get mine. It's about the only way I relate to you is in terms of how it affects me. It's not actually about you, it's about you in orbit to me. And I suspect that this got generated largely after World War II, where America suddenly found itself as a superpower in the world, one of two superpowers, and over time developed more and more from superpower into empire, whilst in denial of that, because hey, we had a revolution against an empire called the British, so we're not going to have an empire. Oh yes, we are. And as that empire grew, we developed our sense of superiority, I say Americans, I identify myself often as an American. I've had the experience of that living in America, that sense that somehow we're better. And of course, it's absolute crap, but it's so supported in the culture. It so comes through the news media. It so comes from our politicians. It so comes through the classrooms and the advertising and the conversations that we are somehow superior. It even comes down to regular routine discussions in the media, on talk shows, and even on so-called news shows like CNN. The question, is an American life worth more than a non-American life? Well, obviously it is to Americans. So, I mean, just that question boggles my mind. The fact that people sit around and discuss that question seriously boggles my mind. So the narcissism, that sense of entitlement, that sense of superiority that just inculcates the culture, that educates and informs you, if you're an American, that you're somehow superior, therefore you're better, therefore what you do is right and what everyone else does is wrong. That sense of, there's a term for it, the exceptionalism of America, that we're exceptional. In fact, Americans even refer to themselves as citizens of the United States, and anyone who's not a citizen is an alien. So my joke is, I'm a double alien. I'm an alien because I'm from another country, and I'm an Australian. So I have a very alien point of view about America. But think about that. You're either in the world, which is in America. It's how soldiers in Vietnam referred to America, when we get back to the world. Or you're an alien. You're from another world. And that's how America functions narcissistically in the world, that it is superior, it is always right. And from that position of self-righteous egoism, it kills millions of people in the name of freedom and justice and democracy. And that, by the way, answers the question that's occasionally asked in the media, why America is really hated.